Hi everyone, it's Kim and welcome to Upper Body Gym Workout. If you haven't already, read the description below to figure out what exercises and equipment we will be using so you won't be running all over the place during the gym. Also, make sure to disinfect any equipment you use before and after use. So let's get started with the warm-up. So what we're doing here is we're just hanging from a pull-up bar and then just raising up our shoulders a little bit. This hang is really good for stretching out your back and engaging those muscles right before we use them. The first exercise we're going to be doing is pull-ups. So to do a warm-up, I'm just going to do a negative pull-up. So I'm just going to jump up to the bar and then slowly go down just to warm up those muscles. We're only doing a few of these, so you don't have to go crazy and do a lot. Just a few just to warm up. All right, and now we are gonna go into inchworms. If you've seen any of my videos, I do these all the time. These are really good for lower body stretching and for upper body warm up. You should be feeling this in your shoulders and your back. Also, just a heads up for the video, if it works best for you, just listen to me when you work out and press pause while you're doing a set, so that way you don't have to look at me the whole time while you're working out. Another good tip is to look at yourself while you're working out to make sure you are performing the exercises correctly. So if there's a mirror nearby, use it. Or if there's not, just use your phone. That's what I always do, and it works the best because then I can see myself in the future and then make any tweaks here and there. All right, so we're done with the inchworms. Now let's just go into just regular stretching. Bring the hands all the way up and then bring the elbows down. Really good for working and warming up your back and your shoulder muscles. Nice work, really go nice and slow, really engage all those muscles when you're going down. And now we're done. So now we're gonna start off with doing pull-ups. So let's start. You can press pause if you need to. We're gonna do 5 pull-ups, and then when you can't do any more, then you're gonna go into negatives. So going slowly all the way up, and you're going all the way down, so you're dead hanging at the bottom. Try to go up as high as you can. Make sure that your chest at least touches the bar if you can. And then all the way down to that hang, working the muscles to full range. So remember, doing 5. If you can't do 5, then you're gonna jump up like I'm doing now, and then you're gonna go down into a negative. All right, so now make sure that you have the right equipment that you need. So you're gonna either use a box or a bench because we're gonna do dips, and then just get some weights for bicep curls. So that's all you need for right now. So take a little break from doing the pull-ups. I need to take my jacket off because I got a little hot doing those pull-ups. So we're gonna go right into the bench dips. So it's gonna be easier if you have your legs bent, but it's harder if your legs are straight like how mine are. So what you're gonna do is make sure that your butt stays as close to the bench or the box as much as possible. And then make sure that the upper part of your arms, like the biceps area, is parallel to the ground as you're going down. And then press off with your palms to make sure you're activating those triceps. So here's an easier version if you want to have your legs bent or if it's just too hard for you. So that's what that looks like. All right, so now we're taking a break, and then we're gonna go into bicep curls. So get that weight ready, and we're gonna go in about 30 seconds to 60 seconds. All right, so let's get started with the bicep curls. I got 12 pounds, so I'm gonna show you from the front and from the side. So from here, the arms and the elbows are gonna stay at your sides the whole time with the forearms lifting up. Notice how I'm turning the weights. You can do it any way you want, but it's just most comfortable for me if I have it neutral grip and then turn it as I'm going up. So this is from the front, and now let me show you from the side because I wanna make sure that you're not swinging the weight. So notice how I'm trying to stay as stable as possible. I'm not jerking the weights up. The weights are going all the way up slowly and all the way down slowly. So make sure that you have a really controlled movement, and you'll know that it's controlled because you're not flinging those weights. If you're flinging the weights, it's most likely because it's too heavy. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's take a break. We're gonna do push-ups next. I'm just making sure that I'm in the camera, so that's why I'm going down. So definitely need a little break from my arms, and then we're gonna go into push-ups. So before I go into it, I'm not gonna show you what an easier version looks like, so I'll just let you know. Get into push-up position, drop the knees down to make it easier. So from here, hands are right underneath the shoulders. Elbows are gonna be tucked in, so they're almost gonna brush your sides. And when you go down, make sure that your body is nice and flat, so your hips don't touch the ground, your stomach doesn't touch the ground, and if they do, they all come up at the same time. So keep that in mind when going down into those push-ups. Remember, good form the whole time. All right, nice work. Now we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna do all of that all over again, so starting off with the pull-ups. So make sure you have an adequate amount of rest now, because going into the pull-ups is gonna be a lot. So I'm doing the pull-ups right now, but try to press pause if you're watching it and following along with me. Try to take about a 3-minute break, 3 to 4 minutes, and then go into the pull-ups. All right, so from here, we're just doing the same exact exercises, so I won't be talking as much. You can follow along with me or press pause whenever you get to the exercise that I'm doing. Also, another thing to keep in mind is to make sure that you take enough rest break in between the sets. I'm pretty much stopping the exercise when I'm done and then starting the next exercise when I'm ready to go, so you don't see how long of a break I'm taking. So I would say in between these exercises, try to take about 30 seconds to a minute and 30 seconds in between. And then once you're done with the set, make sure you wait about 3 to 5 minutes before you go into the next set of pull-ups. So I'm going right back into those dips, but make sure that you took a break before going into them. All right, so we are done with those workouts. Now we're gonna do another set of workouts. So all I'm doing right now is switching my weights out. I'm getting a lighter weight because I'm now gonna do shoulder raises. So I definitely don't need 12 pounds for shoulder raises. And then I am going to get a weight for a dumbbell row. So that's gonna be a little bit heavier. For that, I got, I believe, a 25 pound. And then for the shoulder raises, I did a 7.5 pound. Okay, so I've got my 7.5 pound weights and going into shoulder raises. So remember, you don't want too heavy of a weight. And as we go into it, I try to have my stance a little bit wider for my balance. And I don't go up higher than my shoulder for this one. So I'm gonna show you from the front and then I'm gonna show you from the side. So we're doing 8 to the side and then 8 to the front. All right, so now from the side, going up nice and slow. Try to make sure when you go into these, you really keep those abs engaged. They're gonna try to make sure that you're stabilized this whole time and your back is nice and flat. All right, so now we're gonna go on to the next exercise, but try to make sure that you take a good enough break. I'll be taking the break with you this time. All right, so now we're gonna go into rows. So make sure that you have a heavier weight for this one and that you have either a box or a bench that you can work from. All right, so from here, the left arm and the left leg are going on the ground. My back is nice and flat. And then I'm bringing that weight up to my chest, but trying to make sure that my elbow is brushing my side, so that way I don't hurt my shoulder in the process. We want to keep that weight as close to our body as possible. Right now, let's switch sides. Just flip on over. So also, one thing I want to note for this, you can tell if the weight is too heavy if you continuously have to jerk it up. Notice how I'm not jerking it up, it's nice and smooth. So same with the bicep curls, we wanna avoid the jerking. A little bit is okay, but if it's too much, then the weight is definitely too heavy, and that's something that we wanna avoid because we're actually looking for growth, we're looking for progress, we're looking for something that we can actually do. So try to make sure that it's not too hard. All right, so now you're gonna need a mat and then a little bit lighter of a weight. I think I did 12 pounds with this one. We're gonna go into a chest press to a skull crusher. So it's a chest exercise and a tricep exercise. I'm doing it a few different ways, but because I'm just trying to figure out which one works best for me. So I start off doing with the weights close together, but I'm gonna end up having the weights out to my side, so you can start that way if you want. So for the skull crushers, what you're gonna wanna do is make sure you go really slow, but make sure that that weight is not hovering above your head. There's a reason they're called skull crushers. Those weights can crush your head. Probably not too hard, but it will definitely hurt. So make sure that when you're going down, they're, on the sides of your ears instead of hovering over your face. Try to make sure that your arms stay straight the whole time and that your elbows are standing up as well. Then just drop the forearms down and then slowly come up. You're definitely gonna be feeling that in your triceps. Probably not so much in your chest, but that's okay with me because I don't really wanna work my chest, but it's nice to do a little something. Alrighty, good job. So now we are done with those ones. So remember, we're taking our break and then we're gonna go right back into those shoulder raises. So we're only gonna do this one more round, but like I said earlier, if you wanna do another round, go for it. All do it, whatever you want for this. Okay, so now that we've done it together, I'm not going to be talking as much. So like I said, we're going into the shoulder raises. So we're going to do 8 to the side and then 8 to the front. All right, so this is the end of the workout. You are more than welcome to add anything else you want. This was only 20 minutes, so add whatever you want. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.